Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our webinar Wednesday for August. And happy maybe in the summer, start of fall. I don't know. Lots of students are bustling around here at NDSU, so it's a good thing. And so it's good to see everybody back kind of after summer. I know you've been busy with fairs, achievement days, personal time off, I hope, different things like that. And so I'm really excited about today because we're gonna share something that has been long needed and requested, but sometimes we don't always have the hands on deck in our immediate state office staff here to do things. So I'm incredibly excited that Tori Peel in Ward County and Jayla in Benson County kind of took this project and just ran with it and got something done, and then partnered with our office and then AgCom. So we have some really good recruitment materials to share with you today. And so I'm really grateful to Tori and to Jayla for just taking this and just getting it done, because sometimes that's what needs to happen. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is the recruitment materials and how you can use them in your counties, how to find them, how to edit them. And so we hope that this will be useful to y'all and something that you can use immediately and customize to your needs. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Tori Peel from Lemoore County. She's a 4-H program assistant there, and she's going to tell you today how to use these items and where to find them and how to edit them and everything. Tori?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Megan. Um, like she said, this has been a labor of love, I'll say. And we're so excited that it is at its final stages finally and to present it with you. So just one thing before I really dive in, if you have questions throughout the presentation, please drop them in the chat, and then I will go through those all at the end, just in case I answer it as we're going. So I definitely hope to have some time at the end for questions, answers, if you missed anything, thoughts, comments, concerns, all of that. But let's get rolling because I know you guys all want to see these. So Megan covered some of this, but just some of the history. So Jayla Smith and I, who's the project 4-H program assistant in Benson County, we started this project fall of 2023. Jayla's currently on maternity leave, which is why she's not with us today. We did present some of these drafts at program planning in December. So if some of you remember, we had some drafts at a back table and we were just kind of still working on them. At that point, it went to agriculture communications, and it's went through a ton of changes since then. But the content has remained the same, as well as the intention. So these materials are now NDSU approved and are available in 2 different places, the 4-H Google Drive and then also the NDSU AgCom SharePoint. So the intention behind creating these documents was to create new uniformly branded materials that are customizable for county use and fill current promotion gaps. And here is a sneak peek. So to start on the left, we created a project brochure. This is a brochure that encaptures all of the North Dakota 4-H project areas and then the projects within them, with just a little blurb about what that project area encompasses. And then there's also some things in the middle that we pull out more information. So this brochure is customizable for contact information only. That way we are ensuring the same content is uniform across the state. The next one here is our Join 4-H poster. This is created to be in print only. So to help you advertise your county 4-H program in your counties, to hang a flyer in your community areas on any of your big poster boards, and really just generate some interest with a lot of pictures and little text. The next thing is our Join 4-H flyer. So these are half-page flyers with just a little bit more information about 4-H that you can use at different promotional activities. And then the last one is this club information flyer. This is the most customizable document that we've created, and it's a uniform way to share your club information across the county or with new and interested members. So I'm going to go into each of these now in a little bit more detail. So to start is that project brochure. So this is distributed as a PDF. If you want to print it, you can print it through Agriculture Communications, and they charge a setup fee, and then it's 64 cents per brochure, which I have on the next slide. Or you can print this at home and customize it. So the only customizable portion of this project brochure is right here on the back in the middle. There's this white blank space to add your own county contact information. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. Again, you can work with Agriculture Communications and Deb Tanner there, and she will input your information that you want, print these so they look beautiful, professional, glossy, and mail them out to you for that fee. Or if you have a PDF editor in your office, you can open up this PDF, add a text box, and add your contact information and then print in your home office. Or you could print this in your home office and then add a mailing label. Those are just a couple ideas and a couple different options to use this. So like I said, on the inside portion here, we go through all of the different project areas and the projects, and then pull out a couple of key things where youth can get further involved in those project areas. So the file name for this is brochure ND4H projects. Again, its purpose is to share about the projects and your county contact information. This is a letter-sized document, so standard. It is customizable for the county contact info only. If you do want to go through agriculture communication, here's the fee and then also the contact for Deb Tanner. And then just a note, if you do print it at home, a small white border will be added to the brochure. As you see here, the current file is full bleed, which means the color goes all the way to the edge of the paper. Our typical copiers in our county offices are not able to do that, so it's just going to add like a 1/4 inch white margin all the way around. And I'll walk through some printer settings, but one thing, I'm always a fan of trial and error, but you're going to want to, you can use a shrink oversized pages printer setting or just mess with the scale, and we'll show that a little bit later. Next up is the Join 4-H poster. So this is the only poster we created or one-sided document. Again, it's intended to be hung on a wall and kind of just stay there as a document to promote your county 4-H program. It is single-sided, it is letter-sized, and this is customizable for the pictures so that you can put in your own county-specific photos, as well as then your contact information down on the bottom with the QR code and then your own URL. Again, because this is showing as a full bleed document, you just have to be a little careful when you print it to make sure that margin gets added. The next one is the Join 4-H flyer. So this is a half-page document. So right now you're seeing the front on the left and the back on the right. That all of the photos are customizable, as well as the contact information and the QR code. So here you see this one is customized for Benson County. This is something that you can use if you are going to back to school nights or even your achievement days or county fairs or anything like that to share just a little bit more about 4-H and then engage them with your contact information. This text at the top is standard. It is a photo, so you cannot edit it. So that will be uniform across the North Dakota. And here is the file path for that one. So flyer, join 4-H, and then 5.5 by 8.5, just indicating it is a half-page finished document. And then again, it's customizable for contact information and for photos. This one is my favorite. It is the Join the Club flyer. So I think all of us probably have some iteration in our counties of a way to share all of our club leaders' informations and just our club information. And this is just a really pretty and cool way to do it with uniform information about what is 4-H on the front. So here on the left, you see a half-page version. If you have like 9 or fewer clubs, this is a great option. And here on the right, we have a full letter size version. If you have more than 9 clubs, or you want to share a lot of pictures or other information. So these are both fully customizable. As you see here, we have an example with the Clovers Club and some information about them. And then all the rest, you can fill in your own information. So this one, there are 2 separate files. The flyer Join the Club for the 5.5 and 8 by 8.5. So that's the half-page version. And then the flyer Join the Club, the 8.5 by 11. And that is the full letter size version. So again, this is to share your county-specific club information with interested youth and families. Those 2 different sizes, both are double-sided, and it is pretty fully customizable except for some North Dakota 4-H specific language. So now the big question, where the heck do I find these? We have them in 2 different locations. The first one is on the North Dakota 4-H Youth Development Google Drive in the Staff Resources folder, Recruitment Tools, and then the new 2024 North Dakota 4-H Materials. I also have that link here. The second place is the NDSU Extension SharePoint, specifically the Agricultural Communication SharePoint, in their marketing branding folder under the branded templates. And I will now show you how to find all of these. So can you now see my web browser? Perfect. So we're going to start off with the Google Drive. So however you navigate to the Google Drive, for me, I have it starred. So it's just in the short little list of Google Drives for me. And then I like mine in list form because this is just how I see it. So we're going to navigate to the staff resources folder, double click to open, scroll down to recruitment tools. And then we're going to click into the new 2024 North Dakota 4-H materials. And here are those 5 documents. So to download these onto your computer, and before we get there, if you're like, what do these look like again? You can always double click, open, and you cannot edit in Google Drive, which is great. So you can see exactly what it is and not have to worry about messing this file up. So I'm just going to exit out of that. So to start off, I'm just going to download all of these. So I'm just going to click and drag to download, right click, download. And then I use Google Chrome as my main browser. So that's all preparing this file down here. It tells me it downloaded, so it pops into my top right corner. I'm going to open my folder. Again, I'm going to select all of these, click extract. This is where you navigate to wherever on your desktop you want it to be. We have a fairly deep file path, so I'm just going to get to where I want it to be. And then just double check that file path is correct, and you're going to click OK, and it's going to transfer them over there. So then I already have that folder open, and here is where they all are now in my folder. So before we go into the actual documents, then I will show you how to find them through SharePoint. So a couple different ways to do this. Again, I have the NDSU extension for employees SharePoint bookmarked, and that SharePoint looks like this. I also just discovered today, if you just go to the NDSU extension website, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then here on the right, there's this employees button, and click that, that jumps you to our SharePoint. So from anywhere, either of these SharePoint locations, you're going to click this egg communication. And then this is all of AgCom's information. So we're just going to scroll down to marketing and branding and click on that tile. And then here's the branding guide, which if you haven't found this yet, it's an awesome document. But we're going to scroll down to all of these branded templates. So these are the branded templates like you've seen if the different event flyers come out that have like the picture and then the text, and they're all yellow and green and standard. And 4-H now has a folder in here. So we have template North Dakota 4-H. If you click that, here are those exact same 5 documents. So to select all of these, I'm just going to click this button up at the top, right click, and download. Same exact thing, they're going to pop up in my top right corner. So I'm going to click my download button, grab my new folder, and then follow the exact same thing that I just did. I've already downloaded these, so I'm not going to do it again. But you would select all of these, click extract, navigate to your folder, and save them there. So those are the 2 locations to find these materials. And now we will go into one of them. So I'm going to start with the poster. So all of these were made in PowerPoint, which is not only for slideshows, which kind of blows my mind all the time. And this is what it's going to look like when you initially open it in PowerPoint. So you'll see all of these colored boxes with instructions on the outside of the document. These are guides and instructions for how to use these documents. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to customize a photo. So this is in this blue box over here on the left. So we're just going to follow those instructions that are right in there. So we're going to select a photo. We're going to right click it, go to change picture, this device. And this is where, again, you have to navigate in your files to the photo that you want. So I was messing around yesterday and found a photo and named it Use Me so that I knew exactly what one I wanted. And it just automatically replaces it in without messing with any of the cropping. But this photo isn't in the right spot. So if you double click on the photo, it will open your picture format toolbar. And then we're going to go all the way to the right and click crop. So now you can see that the photo that I put in there is actually a lot bigger than the space that is currently in. And I can just slide this photo over. I can make it a little bigger and again, slide it over to really focus on what I want to look at. And then to finalize that and to see what it looks like, I just select crop again. So to do that one more time, select the photo you want to replace, right click. There we go. Change picture, this device. Navigate to the photo that you want. So for this one, I'm going to go to one of our camp photos that we just had a couple weeks ago. Insert. It thinks for a minute and then it replaces. So this photo, I already like the way it's cropped, but I just want to see how much of the photo is out. So I'm going to click crop. See, there's a little bit on either side, but it's still in a good position. Click crop again, and that finalizes that. So now we'll do our contact information. So down here, again, this is intended for print, and QR codes should only be used on materials that are printed, not online. You cannot scan a QR code that is on your phone if you are looking at it on your phone. That just doesn't work. But if this flyer is hanging up in your grocery store, you can grab your cell phone and scan that QR code there. So this is just a normal text box. So I'm just going to replace North Dakota with Lemoore County. And then I'm just going to replace this URL with my Lemoore County one. If you can never remember exactly what that URL is, look at the bottom of your letterhead, because that's what I had to do yesterday because I totally forgot. So that's my short and sweet one. And anytime, just to make sure that I don't have spelling errors, I'm going to copy that, open up my web browser again, paste it into the URL line, click it. Cool, I did not misspell Lemoore. So now to switch out this QR code, we need to generate the QR code. And there are a couple different ways to do this. So we're going to go back to our web browser and we're going to open up a new tab and navigate to our whatever page you want to point at. For me, it's going to be my Lemoore County 4-H page. So I learned this yesterday, which is super, super cool. I'm currently using Google Chrome, and just in the web page that I want, if I right click, create QR code for this page, and it creates. And from here, you can download it, save it to your server, and then we'll access it again. Another way to do it if you want to be able to keep track of these QR codes. So our office uses tinyURL, and we use this to shorten URLs, like some of those big NDSU ones, if we have registration or anything like that. So what we would do is go to our web browser or web page that we want, copy the URL, paste it into this box, and then I'd enter my alias, so whatever I want it to be. So we're going to say Lemoore 4-H. I already did this yesterday, so I'm not going to do this again, but then you would click shorten URL and then it will generate. So because I did this yesterday and we have an account, this will show up for me in my recent tiny URLs. So here it is, Lemoore 4-H, and I can click QR code. And from here again, I can save it. I like using PNGs for web. You can use any format here. So you're going to click that, it's going to download, and then you're going to open your downloads and move it to wherever you want it to be in your server. So with that done, you're going to navigate back to your document, click on the photo, right click on the photo, change picture, this device, and then navigate to wherever it is that you just saved that QR code. So for me, I put it in my promotion folder, and it's this Lemoore 4-H 400. Insert, done. Once again, as with anything, double check that it works. So I'm grabbing my cell phone, opening the camera, you scan it over that QR code, and just double check that it pulls up my NDSU extension, Lemoore County page, which it does. Because this one doesn't have that nice white border, if that's a visual thing that you like, you can always add a shape behind it and make it white just to make that pop a little bit more on the page. So shape fill, we'll make it white, no outline. Bring this to the front, and then I'm going to select both of those. And then if you go picture format, align, you can align center and it automatically does it, and align middle and it automatically does it. And now this just shifted a bit on me. So I'm just going to use my arrow keys and bump it into where I want it to be. So this is up, my QR code is updated, my contact information is updated. I will finish updating my photos. The last thing you do before you print, remove this pink arrow. All of these other colored text boxes, they say to delete them. You can leave them because they're not going to print because they are off the document right now. So they're just kind of in that gray editing space. So then to print, I'm a fan of shortcuts. So Control P. And then this is where everyone's printer is different. And this is where you might have to kind of play with some stuff. But just here while we're in PowerPoint, make sure you're on the one slide per page, printing one-sided. You can change this to color. I'm going into my specific printer driver, which is this one. Again, letter. I'm going to make sure this is printing in color. It's coming from where I want it to come from. Click OK. There it is. And here you can see that it added that white border. So that's where PowerPoint is really nice, that it's going to do that for you. And then I would print it. So that is how you would edit the poster. I'm going to minimize this one, and then I'm going to open the Join 4-H flyer. Oh, sorry, not that one. I want to open the Join the Club flyer, the half page. Drag this in. So here you see the front. Again, this is a half page, so it's intended to be printed. And then after printing, you'll cut them in half. And then if I lost my cursor, there it is. So here's page number 2. And this is where, again, we have all of those colored text boxes. Sorry, y'all, I lost my cursor on the screen. Let's try that again. There we go. So again, we have all of those colored text boxes and all of these arrows. So anything like this one, where it's over that, white, that is going to print. So on this one, you either need to select this and slide it off, or delete them when you're totally done. So this is the document that is totally, well, not totally customizable. Page 1 is pretty static. Like as you see, you can't edit this text, but on this back page, this is where you get to do whatever you want to do to make it your own. So to start off, if you want to keep this and keep all of these instructions, I would also recommend you can right click over here on the toolbar and click duplicate slide. So that way you'll always have one that shows all of the instructions. And then let's say on this bottom one, this is where I want to actually make this one to print. So I'm gonna delete all the arrows, delete all these text boxes because I don't want them to print, and then customize the information. So this one, I'm lucky, it already says Lemoore County, so I don't have to change that. And then I'd start changing my information. So I got my Cloverleafs Club, and then they meet at, I'm sorry, there we go. They meet at typically the Lemoore School. And the projects that they focus on are everything. So here you can see that came in bold. So I'm just going to select it and unbold it so that it all looks the same. And then I would finish updating this with my leader's name, phone number, and email address. And this is where you need to talk to your club leaders to make sure what information they're comfortable sharing. Like I know some of mine are more comfortable sharing their home phone number and not their cell phone. Some don't care, stuff like that. If you need to, let's say you have 6 clubs, you could do it on this left side and just delete this bottom one. And then suddenly you have some extra space. So this is where you can really make it your own and add some pictures down here on the bottom. Or if you have something really specific to your county that you want to share with these families, add that information. And then here too, you're going to update all of this information down here on the bottom. This, and then the QR code, you'll update the exact same way we did on the poster. You're going to right click, change picture, this device, navigate to where it is, and then click insert. And then always save when you're printing. And when you're doing something like this, when you print it, you're going to want to print both sides and flip pages on the short edge. So that way you don't have to turn it over on the top end, you just turn it over on the wide side. Okay. So now I'm gonna navigate back to our presentation. So that is how you find the documents and how you print them and where they are, and then how to use these. So again, download from Google Drive. You're not going to be able to edit in Google Slides. And reminder, those QR codes are only useful on print documents. I just want to show you one more thing on the documents before we move on to the National 4-H materials. For this brochure, again, this is a PDF file, so that is different from those others that are PowerPoint files. I have Adobe Pro, so I can edit my PDF, add a text box, drag it in here, and type in all of my contact information. And then make that pretty and go forward with that. And then I'd save that, close my editing box. So then that will print here. So when you are printing from your PDF, so again, Control P is a print shortcut. This is where you're going to want that shrink oversized pages. If you're seeing that that's not quite working, you can click this custom scale, and I would suggest going down to about 96%. And then again, you're going to want to print on both sides of paper and flip on the short edge. So I like the shrink oversized paper because I just want Adobe to do it for me. And then you would click print. And I do have one printed here and they print beautifully, depending on the quality of your copier. We just got a new one, so we're really excited for it. Okay, now I just want to show you guys some National 4-H branding materials. I know it's getting a little off topic, but they have some really, really cool stuff that Jayla and I relied upon a lot when we initially designed these materials. So we're going to go to 4h.org. And if you're just at basic 4-H training, I believe they touched on this a little bit. I'm just going to show you a couple other things. So this is one thing where you are going to need a username to log into 4-H. So professional resources, I'm going to log in. And this is where we just have a generic office username. Ooh, and I can't remember anything right now. So give me a minute to find this password. There we are. Okay, so once you are logged into 4-H Online, or sorry, not 4-H Online, 4h.org, you're going to click these resources at the top, and then over under this for professionals on this right one, you're going to click professional. I am sorry, not the right spot. You're going to go down to marketing resources. And here in this marketing resources, there's a couple different things. So the first is these brand assets. So on that presentation, you saw all those colorful borders, the different icons, all of that cool stuff, and even that PowerPoint template that I was using. These are all available for download. One note, and I'll show you here in the patterns. So if you click this download, again, it's going to do just like all of our other documents did. We're going to click in. Some of the files are this AI file type. That is for Adobe Illustrator, which is an advanced graphic design software. I don't know of any offices having the software, but if you do, awesome. That's where you can use these files. But some of these things are also available in JPEGs, PDFs, other file types. So for example, I'll just open this up to show you what it looks like. Like this is the kind of material you can get. So if you're designing poster or whatever you want, just a really cool option is what I'm going to say. The other thing is with logos. So this is where you can get the official 4-H Clover logo. They also have a um, like a secondary treatment is what they call it. And I'll just open it. And it's this 4-H with the dash kind of squished. And it's just a modern look for 4-H that I enjoy throwing on some of our newer stuff that isn't super professional. So those are the brand assets. The next thing is marketing assets. This is if you need a generic social media video poster, they have some awesome ones in here, especially if you need anything in Spanish or print ads. They have old National 4-H Week stuff, ton of stuff in here. So that is under the brand marketing assets, excuse me. And if you go back to marketing resources, the last one is promotional toolkits. National 4-H Week is coming up. I don't know how, but it is almost just over a month away. And National 4-H creates this toolkit every year for the new 4-H Week, which is awesome because they have some really cool branded materials. So one, you learn the theme. And then if you scroll down here, they do have this really cool webinar to watch. So you can learn about the stuff that they created and kind of the reason behind the theme and stuff like that. And then they have all of these different things. So if you need messages, videos, social media graphics, really cool things. Flyers. One thing that I love are these pop-up banners. So I did not print a full pop-up banner because those are like $300, but I'll show you. These banners are just really nicely designed, professional looking. So if you have, again, Adobe Pro or even any, you can find different websites out there to convert these PDFs to photos, so a JPEG format. And then I put these on a letter-sized piece of paper, free across, and designed promotional materials to send out to all my schools. So I didn't have to do any of the pretty design work. I used what was already created for me, and then it just looked way better than if I had just thought it up. So definitely poke around here on the National 4-H site. They have some really cool stuff there. So again, those are the brand assets, the marketing assets, and those promotional toolkits. So that is the gist of what I had to share with you guys. I am pretty sure I hit all of my main points. Um, so I have some questions for you guys, and I see there are some questions in the chat. Um, so first off, are there ways that you can foresee using these materials in your county? And how do you foresee doing that? Wait, sorry, pause. Before we get there, I told you guys that I was using this National 4-H presentation, which I'm sure you see. I'm going to, so this is what that presentation looks like. I just haven't deleted all of the slides yet. So there are a ton of different slides. And then I'm going to show you the last really cool thing with this. So this is my actual presentation file. And they have like 70 slide templates. So they have somewhere you can just put in a photo. Again, that's secondary treatment for the 4-H logo. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and this was again in that brand assets area for 4-H.org, they have these icon libraries, and these are all clickable, which I absolutely love. So you can download all of these, save as your own photos. If you ever want to add them to your own stuff, they have them in green. Sorry, my monitor just wigged out on me. There we go, and in white. And then again, they have those border or the patterns, the borders. Let's say you need a US map for some reason. And then again, they have the clover, secondary treatment. So this is just a really cool PowerPoint that I absolutely love because you can steal a ton of elements from it for other things. Okay, that was my spiel. So I will stop sharing quick and then go back to the question that I originally asked. How do you foresee using some of these in your county and with different events?
This is Katie, and this is fantastic. We just did a SEM event last night, but we have been so busy trying to get ready for our fair and dealing with a lot of other things that we did not have anything promotional ready to go. This would have been great. Tonight we have 4-H Council, so I can get all of this information from my leaders and we can roll with this to do a big recruitment effort at our fair in October. Thank you, because this is genius. I don't have the time to dedicate to this, but this is beautiful. Thank you for being like a hero to us in Wash County.
Thanks, Katie. I know I wish that I had them even for my own back to school events. That was 2 weeks ago, but they weren't quite finalized at AgCom yet. So one thing that we'll keep in mind for if we roll out anything else to have it ready at the end of July and not the end of August. But like I said, labor of love, we're very excited that they are able to be shared and utilized and hopefully utilized well.
Hey, Tori,
Yeah.
thanks for doing this and
Mhm.
for everybody that worked on it. They're great. We actually, when you come into our front lobby, we currently have some 4-H promotional stuff up right now, and we can put those right out for everybody to see where they can grab them and go. And now when we get invited to different events, we can actually have a brochure to give them. So it's great. Thank you. Love them.
Awesome. And that's I'll share so that join 4-H, the half page poster. During National 4-H Week, I created something similar and we distributed that to all of our K through 6th graders with a pencil during National 4-H Week. So that's one way that we've used and why we kind of wanted that smaller document, not just a full page or not a brochure. That was impactful and we could share like that. So anyone else have any ideas?
I just saw Ramsey County has their pancake breakfast coming up on October 6th, so they can definitely utilize some of these brochures there too, if you have any countywide activities.
Absolutely, Jayla. And happy you could be with us today.
Very vaguely, I have a 7-week-old that's not liking life right now.
Sad. I see Scott had asked a question in the chat. What recommendations do you have for putting on more than 8 clubs on the flyer? And how tiny could we make the font? So with that Join the Club flyer, we recognize all of our counties are very different in club numbers. Like Cass County has 30 something. Lemoore County, I'm happy with my 4. So that's where we have that half page version where you can really tailor it to exactly what you need, or that full page version. And even with that full page version, like 8 doesn't give you, like you have a lot of extra space there. So that's where then you could add photos to really customize it and fill in some of that blank space. And then Sherelle asked if the project brochure replaces the Passport to Adventure trifold. Sherelle, I don't know if I would exactly replace it, but our intention was definitely to update the language in it with some of the Thrive language, and then also make it current with those projects. So I believe the intention is to fully replace it, but I don't believe AgCom will have these on stock for us just to order. Again, if you want to order through them, you'd have to special order it. And then another option for printing, like we're fortunate here in Lemoore and we have a local newspaper printer in town who does other printing projects. They've printed stuff for me in the past and it turns out really great. So it's one way if you want to support local, the document like these is almost already complete. You just are able to edit it a bit, save it as a PDF, send it over to them. So that's another option for printing if you don't want to run off 100 brochures in color at your county office and be charged for them. And then Stephanie asked, when will the recorded video be able to watch? That is a Megan question.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. It's a good question. I like once it like downloads to the cloud, I'll send it to Scott Swanson in AgCom and then he uploads it to YouTube. So I can't speak for his schedule, but usually he does it pretty quick. And so probably I'm not gonna say but in this week, but probably next week. And then Tori and I are gonna put the link to that recording and we're gonna put that on the PowerPoint that she did and put the PowerPoint in the Google Drive. So when you are like, oh, what did Tori do with that? You can go back and watch this video and look at the PowerPoint and everything. And then also another place it's located is our YouTube channel where all of our webinar Wednesdays are located from like 3 years ago. So everything that we've ever done is uploaded to our YouTube channel. And that link is at the bottom of the email that I've been sending out, advertising what Tori's going to do, look at the YouTube channel. So if you want to click on that, you can see everything we've done. There might be a topic that you're interested in as well too. And I was going to tell, I guess, Sherelle that was asking about the passport part too. And I was just say Tori and Jayla did a really good job with really matching the language that we use in the project guide, the project areas, so everything lines up on the brochure and the project guide. So all those are kind of consistent, so we don't have different languages. So you know, we encourage you to use the new brochure, so we won't confuse families and we can have consistency across the state.
So then another question I have for everyone on here. So you just saw the 4 documents that we shared. What's next? What are some other needs that you guys have?
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can, Scott.
Yeah, so I think these flyers are really great for recruiting some 4-H members. I'm wondering if they can be adapted to volunteer recruitment as well.
That is a great question. I know National 4-H has some volunteer specific flyers. So in that same place where I was showing, I'll share my screen again quick. So again, I'm on the National 4-H site. I'm going to go back to those marketing resources. And then they have this volunteer marketing. I know Rochelle has shared this before as well, but they have some very specific and targeted volunteer guides here. Not to fully replace North Dakota stuff, but as kind of a stopgap to help you out with it. So just to open one of these and show you what it would look like. So something how you can do it. And then these are PDFs. So again, if you have that PDF editor, you'd be able to go in and tailor this a bit. And then you have your own 4-H contact information that you can put at the bottom. But North Dakota specific volunteer documents, I think would be really cool, Scott. Anything else? And then I just have one comment while you guys are thinking. At program planning and then again at 4-H spring training, we had premiered, myself and Susan Millender and a team of a bunch of other great people had premiered a 4-H club kit tailored to North Dakota 4-H. So that club kit is still a work in progress. It got put on the back burner with summer, as with anyone else having achievement days and fairs and all of the fun that comes with all of that. With the North Dakota policy currently a work in progress, and then also some work on volunteer training documents, we've decided just to kind of hold it for a little bit so that we can make sure that everything in the club kit is up to date, accurate, and then we can roll it out all at one time instead of rolling it out like this year and then having a bunch of changes for next year. So still a work in progress. If you're very interested in it, I can at least share the table of contents with you if you kind of want to get some people familiar with it. But we're not going to do the full rollout here until 2025, just to make sure that we're not confusing people in the future. And Tracy, I see you have your hand raised.
Yeah, but I think you kind of answered my question. Because I think my question was about at spring training. I remember seeing that you guys were working on new treasurers and secretary books. And so I guess I was wondering about those and if those are available.
Oh,
Great question.
I have an answer for that one too. We just actually Lynette Vaughel just they finalized the secretary book, and so I'll be sending out an announcement for that. And so Deb Tanner is going to be working on it so it can be fillable, so your youth can type on it too. So that one piece isn't finished yet, but the whole document is there. And then her update on the treasurer's book, her team is they're still working on the treasurer's book. She said hopefully by the end of like this calendar year they would have that done. So those are their goals for that piece. So secretary's book is done. It just needs to be made into a fillable document so y'all can type into it rather than have to print it out, handwrite it. I mean, you can print it out, but if your youth want to type, we just want to make it easier for y'all.
Are we able to access it yet? Or I know my 4-Hers, they don't want to type in it. The club leaders want them to write it out. Are we able to access it yet or won't be available till both?
Yeah, it's on, like we just put it on the Google Drive today. So I can send out a message about that. But yeah, I can we could put a link in the box as well. But
awesome. Thank you.
yeah. Okay.
Heather just asked, are there uniform project records that we could use for projects outside of livestock? That is such a great question, Heather. Um, as far as I know, every county does their own thing. Most counties are very willing to share their record sets. Sorry, that's what we call them here. Record books, record sets. Um, so you kind of get to do what you want to do. Or you ask your surrounding counties and they share stuff and then you tailor it. Does anyone else have any comments on their county records or project records? Does anyone want to see any of the steps again? Downloading, editing photos, editing text, QR code generation, anything like that? Cool. I guess that just means that I answered all of your questions the first time. Again, the presentation will get put up and I'll add some steps to it for like screenshots and stuff. And then the recording will also be recorded, sent out, and put on the Google Drive as well. So if there's anything that you know somebody missed this, or you're like, I know that was a thing, how the heck do you do it again? All of that will be available in the next couple weeks.
And also just point out that Leanne put up the link to the volunteer brochure, so maybe that might work for you, Scott. You know, if not, we will give some feedback if there was another piece that you were looking for as well.
Great point. I totally forgot that that had been created. So thank you, Megan and Leanne. I believe this started with a Barnes County project. So yes.
Any more questions for Tori or anything else?
I have a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, relating to the volunteer recruitment flyer, one thing that and anyone could just chime in and tell me if this is not a good idea, but I was thinking to include a QR code for a Google form that volunteers can fill out to figure out their subject area interests. Can that be added onto this volunteer flyer if I wanted to edit that, or um, is it not good to change anything about this flyer?
Megan, do you have an official response?
Do you have the opportunity to like add a QR code? Like, do you have the editable version of PDF, Adobe? Or we could make another, add it on there. That could be something we could do. Are you able to edit PDF, Scott?
I should be able to soon. I just need to get onto the subscription plan.
Oh,
There you go.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so being able to edit PDFs like an Adobe Pro, or there's a couple other applications too, you would definitely be able to add another QR code to this with some text explaining it. And you generate that QR code like I showed you. But Leanne, do you have any thoughts too?
Because Scott, on the back, it does have the green box where you can put like for more information, contact, so it gives you the opportunity to like Tori was showing you how to do it on the other brochure, put the text box, put a sticker. So that could be an opportunity to customize what you wanted to, Scott.
I know I'm gonna point you out, Annette, just because I know you also do a little bit of this. And Scott, that might be something that you connect with Annette in Burleigh County, because she can kind of walk you through. I think she uses some sort of Google Forms to capture different volunteer registration. So that might be a neat mentorship opportunity. Learn how she does that.
That's in Burleigh County, correct? That's what you said? Okay.
Yeah. We put it a lot of times on a little business card and stuff that we can pass out to people so they can get to the Google Drive when we do events.
Yeah, love to get that form from you too.
right, any more questions, comments, suggestions?
I got just one more thing.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to share my screen one more time. So in the spirit of collaboration, because we know we all do basically the same things during the same times. So again, on the North Dakota 4-H Youth Development Google Drive, staff resources, and then in the recruitment tools folder, there is this county created folder. So this is where if you create something that you think is super cool, drop it in here. Like I know Amber in Sargent County created all of these social media graphics highlighting like what's a project, exhibit, kind of our project sheets. So she created these and they're generic enough that any one of us can go in, download these, and then post it on our own social media. So this is just a really cool place that we can share all of that information with each other. So we don't have to keep reinventing the wheel in all 53 counties because that's not fun and it's a time suck and we all have enough other stuff happening. So like here, Annette added these mini projects. So I just wanted to throw that back out there. It's in that recruitment tools folder, county created. So you can just drop stuff in there that you create and you want to share with people. I believe there's also a place here in National 4-H Week. So like these bookmarks, this is what I had done last year for National 4-H Week. Again, these were originally those pull-up banners from National 4-H. And then I just added this text and then my own county contact information. So I will most likely be doing this again or using our new half-page flyer, but just something that's tailored to you and it's easy to change. And then here's the publisher file so that you can access and edit those. So I just wanted to throw that out because collaborating is fun and reinventing the wheel is not. So thank you all for joining us so much. I am so excited that these are off the ground and flying, and I hope to see them all across the state because that is the intention. So yeah, go forth. If you have any questions on anything or you hit any snags, you're like, how the heck? Shoot me an email or a Teams. I'm definitely here to help. I love teaching people if you can't tell. So
Yeah.
thank you all.
Thank you, Tori. And I want to echo everybody that said that she was a great communicator, great session teacher. So thank you so much, Tori, for doing this and communicating this so well to us, and to Jayla too for getting this off the ground and going. We really appreciate this. And so I look forward to seeing things being used around the state. So that's really, really exciting. And look for another email about what we're going to do for webinar Wednesday next month. And then just a little commercial for tomorrow. Don't forget our monthly newsletter chat tomorrow afternoon, just to kind of look at the newsletter and go through the specialists. You can ask questions of us or share things that you want to talk about. So that's tomorrow afternoon. You should have the link on your calendar. So anyway, thanks for joining us today. It was great to see everybody. And thank you again, Tori. That was amazing. You rock. Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing work just sharing. You did a great job presenting everything, Tori.